Hey everyone, it's Chris and welcome back to The Ridge. Today, we're going to have part 2 of our DIY greenhouse series. We're going to showcase our nearly complete greenhouse made mostly from reclaimed windows and French doors that we had laying around our property. Let's dive in and we'll show you all the exciting features that we've added.
Join us.
Sweet Maple Ridge Farms. Come on down, everybody. Go!
All right, everybody. So thanks for joining us and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the greenhouse is really coming together. We attached it to our garden and we have the fencing attached to it here. So we can go from the greenhouse into our garden and vice versa. So everything that we used to build this greenhouse is basically from what we found laying around our house, with the exception of the polycarbonate plastic sheeting, this, and we use this type of stuff on the roof also. But aside from that, everything that we have that you see was from items that we found laying around the house, except for the small window that is installed up here. And that was right around $100. We got that from Lowe's. Let's take you inside here and show you what we got. Okay, so coming on in the greenhouse. It is pretty hot in here, I will say. But coming in the greenhouse, you can see the potting bench that I built. It's perfect for pretty much all of our gardening needs. And the raised bed is right next to it. So this is where the raised bed's going to be. So we're going to have a cherry tomato here on this side, and then a beefsteak style tomato, probably a brandywine or something similar. And then we're going to have like a pepper plant or two over here. And then in a couple of these places, we're going to have just some flower pots with some herbs in it. And it is warm in here. I will say I think it's probably 78 or 80 degrees outside right now, and it's 100 degrees in here. So, the next thing I want to show you is the watering system that I have going on. Now, like I told you, it was very, very important to me to only use materials that we had laying around our house. I didn't want to go to Lowe's and be buying a bunch of stuff except for the absolute essentials. I wanted to get rid of some of the stuff that we had laying around. So I installed this water system. So if you go down here and see, we have a 55-gallon barrel, plastic barrel, food grade, that was here at the house when we bought it. And so I have that under here. So you can see, and like I said, I know this is crooked and all this, but I didn't want to go to Lowe's and buy a bunch of fittings. I wanted to use what we had laying around. And it works just fine, and it doesn't leak, and so that's what we want. So this is the way that this works. So the watering system, we've got a pressure pump over here that draws water out of the 55-gallon drum. And it's a Shurflo pump. It's a Shurflo 4008. And so basically it draws water from the 55-gallon drum, and when the valve is open, the pump kicks on and it works great, and it provides pressure. And we do plan to add a gutter down the road to collect rainwater to refill the drum, making it even more sustainable. But for right now, I just have a hole drilled here, and that's where we put the hose to fill this up. It was really important to me that we have this on its own watering system. The reason why is because we're going to be using this during the winter, but in the winter, our watering system for our garden is actually completely turned off and shut down because we don't want it to freeze. So I wanted this to be on its own watering system. So that's the way that it works. Here soon, we're going to have a gutter that's going to bring water in and probably go in here. But until then, we're going to fill it up with the hose. But basically, the way this works is I'll show you. We have this valve here. I know it's crooked again, but all I did was use stuff that I had laying around. I didn't want to go to Lowe's and buy anything. So as soon as I turn this on, you'll hear the pump kick on. See? The pump kicks on. It takes a minute or two. But bam, you got water, and I just have it on low because this pump pushes out a lot of water. And I don't want it to be going crazy or anything. But look how great that is. That's perfect. It's exactly what we want. And as soon as you turn the valve off, the water stops. And you know what? This can get wet. It's no problem. It works great. I also want to say too, we have a drip irrigation system coming from Drip Depot. So as soon as we get that, I'm going to set that up. And we're going to have all these plants, to include a bunch of plants up here that we're going to have hanging. And we're going to have all these plants that are in here in the ground. We're going to have them all on a drip watering system that's going to be automated by an automatic waterer. So we can ensure that the plants get the right amount of water each and every time. So we're going to have the automatic water hooked to that. And then we're going to have the irrigation system from Drip Depot hooked to that, so that when the watering system comes on, everything just gets a nice little dose of water, exactly the way that we want it to. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the temperature control system. Now, I have a window down here that we can open up and get ventilation inside of this place. But what we have set up here is this Inkbird. So I'm just going to plug this in really fast. And I have the Inkbird set to turn on when it's 75 or warmer in here. I have this fan going, and that moves it around really, really good. But you can see in here, this whole thing is setting up. And in here right now, it's 96 degrees. So I have it set to turn on at 75. But as you can see, this window, I don't have a screen in it yet, so I don't want to open it, because I've noticed that when I open up the window and there's no screen in it, you get flies and all kinds of like yellow jackets and stuff in here that want to come in. So I'm going to keep that closed for right now. But the fan works great, so it kicks on at 75 and kicks off below that. So this is a great way to automate the cooling process. And once we have this open, I get a screen in here. I think it's going to cool off a lot more, because it'll be able to suck air from up here, go into the fan, and then come out this window here. Also, if we want to cool it even more, I can always just keep this open, because this is the protected area of the garden. It's surrounded by our fence. And so no animals or anything can get in through here. I wouldn't want to leave this open, because then animals can get in through here and go into the garden. What I'm also going to consider doing is putting in a screened in door right here, which we do have one of those laying around and put here. But as soon as I open up these doors, man, it really cools off in here, so it's great. So that's that. For the purpose of this video, I am going to turn this off so that you can hear me just a little bit better. Okay, so now I want to talk about the roof. For the roof, we used twin wall polycarbonate sheets and also corrugated poly sheets. We use corrugated poly sheets, which are these right here, for the majority of the build. But over here on the left-hand side, I ran out of the corrugated stuff, so I used the polycarbonate sheets. Now, these are the 8 mil. These are the 2x8 sheets. These are from, and all of these are from Greenhouse Megastore, I believe it's called. I got them online, and they all work great. But I will say, the twin wall polycarbonate sheets, which are 8 millimeters thick, it's also this right here. It's super sturdy. They're really thick, And honestly, if I had to do it all over again, instead of using these, I would definitely use this the whole way around for the roof. This right here, much more sturdy, it's much thicker, and I think it would hold up just a little bit better to the snow and ice and stuff like that. And also the wind that we get here out on the ridge. But this stuff is still really good. It's gonna hold up, I think, just fine. I will say the benefit to the corrugated stuff over the polycarbonate sheets is, I believe this was $85 for 5 2x8 sheets versus this is $270 for 5 2x8 sheets. So a lot cheaper if you go the corrugated stuff, but the polycarbonate sheets just seem to be a little bit stronger. So I would just say that while the corrugated stuff can save you money, the durability of the twin wall polycarbonate sheets make them a much better investment for the long run. So now I just want to talk about some lessons learned here. And this greenhouse, it's not done. We have a lot more to do. But I just wanted to go through 3 lessons learned that if I could do this over again, that I would do. So number 1, first, double the number of windows that you have available to open. So right now we have this window and we have that window up there. Now, of course, we do have these doors, but I would recommend adding all the windows that can open. The more, the better. The reason why, definitely you want airflow. And so this thing, and I know it's July 20th, so it is in the dead of the summer. But yesterday in this thing, it was 107. No plant is going to propagate or germinate or enjoy that sort of temperature, probably. The fan does help to keep the air moving in here, but still, that's really hot. So opening more windows and being able to add more windows to open would definitely help to vent the heat. So lesson learned number 2, like I said before, I would use the 8mm polycarbonate sheets for the roofing system. These are right here. You can see how thick these are. Super sturdy, very, very sturdy, very durable. I highly recommend them. They provide better durability and insulation. And so if you just look in here, they're really, really easy to use. You just use a regular circular saw to cut them. It says to use a fine tooth blade, but I just used a regular framing blade and it worked just fine. And these things, they're easy to use. You just use regular roofing kind of screws to install them, and they work great. If I had it to do all over again, I probably just would have built this with 2x4s. 2x6s are a lot more expensive than 2x4s, so it added to the cost. So for that reason, I would have gone with, or if I could do this over again, I would use 2x4s. So that added some price to the cost of this build. So the cost of this build all in, that includes the polycarbonate sheets, the roofing, the screws, and the 2x6s that we used came in right around $750. We used all these doors from everything that we had laying around our house. All of this stuff we just found laying around. So we used all this stuff. Even the fan that's in there, we found laying around. That grate, we're gonna use that. I'm gonna attach that to the wall somehow. We're gonna use that to put plants on and stuff also. But yeah, right around $750. And I'm really hoping, my goal is to be able to grow tomatoes and be able to have tomatoes and peppers in here 24/7. I really want to be able to keep down on the pests, and I really think I'm optimistic that we'll be able to do that. And here's the build from the inside of our garden here. Just take a little second to show you some stuff that we have going on here. I think y'all like it. Brandywines. Brandywine tomatoes. Peppers. This is a mushroom basket. Look at that tomato. Look how gnarly that is. More brandywines. These tomatoes are huge. The plants are huge. Coming on down. Got a volunteer there. This is another mushroom basket. He's a lot smaller, but he's got tons and tons of tomatoes on him. Look at the size difference between the brandywine and this mushroom basket. Anyway, brandywines. Tomatoes just as far as the eye can see. Here's an early girl. See, her fruit's a little different. And then over here, we do have a better boy way over here. And that's probably going to be a tomato that's going to be ripe here very soon. But you can see the better boy is getting sort of choked out. And then we have a Bugs super little. We have a Super Sweet 100. And then we have a Sun Sugar here. So that's awesome. So anyway, we'll come back around. Oh, man. These are an heirloom zinnia. These seeds have been passed down through our family for more than 50 years. And so we really like them. And the bees do too. Man, look at that bee. Love it. And then these are all volunteer tomatoes, but look at all the blooms. These are a multi-floral variety. They have so many blooms. They're incredible. This is moonshine corn. Come back around here. The bees just love these heirloom zinnias. Virginia gold tobacco there. I think these are Blue Lake beans, and these are called Provider. They're absolutely incredible. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. They are so good. You can eat them raw. God, they're so good. Sweet. These are Frontignac grapes. There's grapes just everywhere. I mean, just incredible. So anyway, back to the video. Got lots of zucchinis here. Our greenhouse, San Marzanos, and Roma. Let's take you around. These are volunteers. We'll go back in the greenhouse here in a minute. These are Amish paste. We had one yesterday. It's our first tomato that we've actually picked. And they taste so good. There's San Marzanos here. San Marzanos and then Roma. So anyway, this is our garden. So you can see how I hooked this to, excuse me while I eat this green bean. You hook this and use these screws. But anyway, we'll come on back in here. And everybody, thanks for watching. That's it. That's the video. We're just so appreciative of each and every one of you who take the time to watch these videos and the stuff that we come up with. So, If you like this video, hit that like button to let us know you approve. And please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by August 31st. So we really appreciate everybody who subscribes and our subscribers. Definitely hit that subscribe button. We're going to have part 3 of this, and we'll hope you join us for that also. We'll see you next time out on the ridge.
Woo!